Super Mario Bros. Arguably one of the most iconic video game series in history. It has delivered many outstanding 2D and 3D platformers and would later have a huge impact on linear gameplay and side-scrollers today. When I first heard that a brand new animated Mario movie was in development, I got very excited. I was one of those who saw that awful 1993 movie, which was so bad that I questioned whether cinema even knew what a video game was in the 90s. But I was crossing my fingers and my toes, hoping they would do things right this time around with new technology and more knowledge of the source material. The results came in and what we got was a colourful and very lively video game adaptation, which is, in my opinion, one of the better video game adapted films we have gotten, despite its overabundance of Easter eggs. So, what made this Illumination movie such a hit in 2023? How does it compare to other video game adapted movies? And was it everything we could have hoped for, or was it the cash grab that we all predicted? In today's movie review, I'll be talking about one of the most controversial animated adventures, the Super Mario Bros. Movie. So without further ado,
let's go!
To start with, this movie stays extremely faithful to its source material, and it shows off how everything works from the games, including classic 2D side-scrollers and 3D linear gameplay. It also has plenty more shoutouts, from how it explains the whole travelling through 8 worlds to Bowser, power-ups being exactly how they work in the games, as you see it a lot in the Mario vs Donkey Kong sequence, the Mushroom Kingdom, Rainbow Road, and the list goes on and on. The characters are also designed very faithfully with some sharp colours to help them stand out, albeit with some slight differences that help them integrate into film form and stay away from typically being ripped right out of the games. Additionally, it also shows viewers the classic story of how Mario and Luigi became popular amongst townspeople from their plumbing business in Brooklyn and became the heroes we know them today in the Mushroom Kingdom. It has some original ideas, but still ensures that it looks very much like a video game adaptation come to life. For Illumination standards, the animation is very lively and makes it truly look like something you'd see in the Mario video games, with its goofy, light-hearted, joyful moments capturing its characters, with some dark, deeper, and more emotionally touching moments for characters like Bowser. It matches both sides of the spectrum. It was the perfect choice to animate this in Illumination standards, since if we for example take Link from The Legend of Zelda and that source material, that's more portrayed as serious and a lot more adventurous than Mario, considering its open world vibe, which works a lot more than you would think in its future live action adaptation. As for the animation in this movie, well, we've seen Illumination and how they do these movies on a small budget. It's not the most colourful of the bunch, but probably Illumination at its finest. It gives us a more cinematic world that works well with its massive source material, and furthermore, it perfectly works on the big screen, being a massive jump from its original games. Despite it not being the main highlight for most viewers, the characters are very likeable and probably just as likeable as they are in the games. I'll first talk about this movie's then controversial voice cast for the film. Yes, it was worrisome that they cast popular stars to fill in the roles because they are popular. But that definitely wasn't the case, as Chris Pratt does a pretty decent performance as Mario, Charlie Day is awesome as Luigi, but the best voice casting choice is hands down Jack Black as Bowser. In every bit of the scene, Jack Black absolutely nails it, blending genuine menace with strong comedic timing and also some great singing vocals, with the song Peaches being the best part. It's a perfect example of showing how much you really love a girl, even if they may feel a bit shy around you at times. You just gotta show how much you really care for them. All other actors are great too, but those are my top 3. They also did Princess Peach so flawlessly here, translating her away from being a typical damsel in distress. And Mario and Luigi's relationship is the film's emotional heart, with them always sticking together. Truly amazing, and the characters overall give this movie plenty of energy in its occasionally flat story. For a film that has a story that becomes pretty mindless at times, it nonetheless moves at a very solid pace, with its brisk 92-minute runtime, making it feel like it just ends just as it begins. It's like a speedrun pace, giving viewers plenty of what they need. It keeps children entertained, it doesn't add loads of filler to make its subplots feel like they last forever, it shows plenty of sides for our favourite characters, and it offers lots of source material and Easter eggs for all the viewers. Some may argue that it's a bit too quick, but personally I think it captures the spirit of what makes Mario games so special, as speedrunning is a common thing for these games. So to help match that similar charm, the film makes good use of its action scenes with its massive tribute to Mario Kart when the characters go to Rainbow Road. It hooks you up into its source material, and out of all versions of Rainbow Road that have appeared since the first game, this is probably the most visually appealing one. It's all quick and effective for all ages. Finally, concluding the positives, this movie proves to be a massive love letter for fans whilst also delivering tons of Easter eggs. And when I say Easter eggs, I mean a lot of Easter eggs. So much so that it captures the world building of Mario all around. The music in general has lots of classic themes from the original games, and they all play at the right time, thanks to Brian Tyler's underappreciated streak of hot notes. The Storm music theme and the credit song are perfect examples, and also just capture the vibe of having lots of charm playing the games themselves. Definitely an overlooked part of the film in my opinion. Also, you can't forget the fact that they reused the classic DK rap when we first see Donkey Kong in the film. Yes, they actually used the most memed about song in the series, which matched so well when Donkey Kong appears for the first time. It also references the game's 2D side-scrollers like in the beginning, with a brief callback to World 1-1. You can really see that I'm a massive Mario fan myself, as I've been playing since birth. This movie helps newcomers expand the already popular series and makes good use of its time with its consistency and overabundance of charm. Honestly, my only real flaw about this movie is that the storytelling, as to be expected from a typical Illumination movie, is pretty underwhelming, even for a Mario themed one. While yes, it stays faithful to the games, it's a typical hero's journey type cliche, and how Mario at first is disliked by people only to defeat the big evil at the end to be everyone's hero that we all cheer on. It blends typical video game platformers that have to carry the story, as at times it just feels like it pads the story a lot more rather than actually giving us something original. It's pretty predictable as well. Not to mention the little screen time they give to Luigi. Everyone gets a good amount of screen time, but Luigi is easily forgotten about as he has like 3 major scenes and the rest is just him appearing in slight cameos, instead shifting the focus to Mario, Peach, Toad, Bowser and Kamek. It also uses the cliched rescued plot element that has been done so many times with Mario needing to rescue Luigi from the dark world. It at times plays it all too safe and not too hard on its story elements. The Super Mario Bros. Movie is a very strong installment from Illumination and also a solid adaptation of the Red Plumber himself. It stays very faithful to its source material with plenty of Easter eggs of its own. Its animation is absolutely delightful and gorgeous for Illumination standards. The characters are very likeable and are very much true alike to their game counterparts. It has swift and effective pacing that is all over before you begin watching it, and there are lots of Easter eggs to please old-time fans. The storytelling is a bit poorly written though, and could have been easily distinguished from its tonal shifting, but that's more of a mindless plot problem, as it makes the film more enjoyable. It also has a very potent send-off for Mario's original voice actor, Charles Martinet. His very last line in the film, and final one overall, is when his character, Mario and Luigi's father, runs over to Mario and Luigi after defeating Bowser by shouting, "These are my boys." This one line from Charles effectively proves that he's been playing these characters for so many years, and even if he no longer plays them today, he will always have a soft spot for them both, being the iconic voice behind Mario, Luigi, and many more. This beautifully animated adventure is swiftly moving for the whole family, and one of the most memorable ones of 2023, making $1.36 billion at the worldwide box office, basically guaranteeing many sequels in the bargain. The Super Mario Bros. Movie is a delightful sugar rush for all ages, alongside its faithfulness to the source material, even if it lacks depth or an effective emotional hook. While its storytelling is very thin for Illumination standards, the Super Mario Bros. Movie powers up many vibrant colors from its classic source material and breaks block by block with its endless amount of wonderful charisma. My final score for this Illumination movie is a 9 out of 10 and a grade A. It's definitely one of the best video game adapted movies in a while, but I feel that it may be a bit much even for a hardcore fan. As I said earlier, I'm a massive fan of Mario overall, and I've been playing the games since childhood. From small to large and number by number, I will forever give them all a go, no matter how challenging or frustrating or even complex they may be. But with that being said, leave a like on this video if you guys did enjoy my review on the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and also remember to subscribe if you're new and hit that bell icon to see more content on my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Take care of yourselves.